A lot of people say, oh, CEO, you should only be fundraising, but then I wouldn't really be the CEO, right? I would be more of a broker. Make sure that you have thick skin, make sure that you're resilient, and make sure that you're willing to take risks.
Hello, welcome to this BRITE interview series. I'm your host, Jake Ricosi, and today we're joined by Spencer Elliott, CEO of ViewStub. Thanks for coming on, Spencer. We appreciate it.
Yeah, good to see you again.
ViewStub, it's kind of a changed name from Beyond 360 Media. Can you first off give us a little elevator pitch on what ViewStub is and how you got started with it?
The elevator pitch for ViewStub is, we are event streaming, ticketing, and marketing. So in a quick little sentence, so we help with everything from your landing page, or if you have your own website, we can allow you to embed our code onto your website with a simple iframe, and you can go ahead and start selling tickets to both in-person events as well as virtual events or pay-per-view models, meaning like a live stream or a replay of your event. So your event really never ends, right? If I had an event today, I couldn't invite people tomorrow, but I can with video. And then if my event is sold out, it's done. I can sell no more tickets, but I can with video, right? And so that's the incremental revenue that we're providing for these events. And then we're including a lot of tools for marketing now that help them with things like affiliate links. Affiliate links being part of our platform now, and the ability for you to share that with your speakers and your promoters and your attendees and let them help you to promote the event and share in the revenue. So I'm sure we'll get into a lot more of that, but I wanted to give you the
great. So tell us where you're at right now. You've been around for about a year, and you're still kind of getting things rolling. Do you have employees yet? I know you're mentioning you have 5 software developers, so that can be a lot going on right there.
It is a lot, and I couldn't do it without our team. I give all the credit to them, and we spent about 9 months building the software, and we took as much feedback as we could along the way. And so we went through the iCore program and some of the other accelerators like Starter Studio and just did a lot of customer discovery and had so many conversations. And we've built ViewStub based on those conversations and based on those struggles that we experience, but also that other customers are experiencing. And that's why ViewStub has no upfront cost, because we know that events are doing a lot of upfront spending, and then we wanted to put our costs where when they're successful, they can pay us, right? So that's a lot of the stuff that we're doing now. But with our team, we have a total of 10. So we have myself and my co-founder, the software development team, a marketing team, and now a sales business development role. And so we're growing out this year all of our sales and marketing. So we're going to be really focused on getting new customers, getting the word out there about ViewStub. And so we'll be at already this quarter about 5 different industry conferences. We're hosting our own industry conference as well in August at the end of that month, and we just really want to show that we're a credible company and that we have thought leadership and that we can really help customers. And so it's really about showing them the value that ViewStub provides.
Are you a software guy yourself, or?
Kind of. I've always been really intrigued by software. I think that it solves a lot of problems, and that there's ways that we can use software to gain accessibility. In our case, for people that aren't able to make it to an event in person, that can only be done through software and through cloud-based solutions. But as a programmer, that's not my forte right now. I just don't have the patience, I would say, for it, or the time lately. But I definitely have an eye for it. I've worked in a number of software startups in the past, as well as I've worked in the corporate arena with software sales, and so certainly love software. I understand mainly everything that goes into building the software, but I just don't have the programming skills.
Great, so it takes a certain level of leadership to do that, I'm assuming, just because not being a software guy, and then you have such a software heavy product that you have to have some level of vision behind what you're doing.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's a little bit of dumb luck and common sense. So you kind of look at some things and you say this is probably not going to work, and then you ask 5 people and they agree, and so it takes a lot of just iteration. We launch things at 80%, 85%, and we do that on purpose, because if we try to bring something to 100%, we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot, because it's meant to be iterated upon, it's meant to have feedback, and so then we can focus that last 10 to 15% on getting it right. and then of course, evolving it from there.
Yeah. Tell us about the stage you're at right now. About a year in, do you already have clients? Are you starting to generate income yet, or where are you at with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we really launched in August with some of our early beta customers, some of the conferences that we were more friendly with, that we knew that would be able to test out some of the features for us, and we've had great success with all of our current customers. So we've done over 100 events on the platform that have all been very successful. We're paying out thousands of dollars each month to our event customers. We're doing thousands of dollars in revenue and ticket sales for both in-person tickets and pay-per-view tickets. So we do see the product market fit. We do see that what we're doing solves a lot of the problems for the industry. And we hear a lot of, man, this is what I've been looking for. This is perfect for me. Oh, I get to get rid of this solution, or sometimes, oh, that's good because that's half my day is done managing that. Or ViewStub is browser based, so we keep everything on the internet, right? There's no app downloads. You can use Chrome and Safari to accomplish everything with ViewStub, and so that's really where we want to be in terms of technology, is at the forefront of some of those WebXR initiatives. And of course, we still support 360 video live streaming. So back to those Beyond 360 days, when we first started ViewStub, we went really heavy on the 360 video concept. And that's when we learned the market really wasn't there yet. But ViewStub still does fully support 360 video live streaming in the browser on your phone, all right, so on a mobile device, which is something that some of the bigger players don't have, and you have to download their app to be able to do those things. And our QR code scanner is also in the browser, so you're able to use any device and use the camera to go ahead and start scanning QR codes when you're checking people in. That's something pretty novel to the industry as well. Typically, you're giving your login details to some of those other websites where you do tickets, and that volunteer or that event staff, you might not want them to be privy to all of your account information and some of those ticketing sales and stuff. So we're trying to change the game in terms of the way that things are done.
Yeah, so you're Orlando based completely right now. You're out of Starter Studio in Orlando.
Yes.
What are the benefits of being out of there and growing in and I've never been there myself, but I'm assuming a very entrepreneurial environment.
Absolutely. So for those of those out there who might not know, Starter Studio is a nonprofit organization which has an accelerator as well as a fund. And so we've been through their early stage accelerator, and now we've also graduated from what they're calling the seed stage fund. And so they've recently invested in our company, and it's an evergreen fund, so any of the profits that come out of that investment will go back into funding new companies. And so we're really happy to be a part of that. And I'm not sure when this will be released, but we were accepted into the UCF incubator, and there will be a press release.
Congratulations.
And so they actually operate out of Starter Studio. So our offices are now, again, in Starter Studio. So it's funny because we've been through all these programs, and they all have that affiliation with Starter Studio. And so we've, even with Beyond 360, always had a presence there and always had support. And most of our mentors have come out of that relationship, and most of our connections in this industry and in this community have come out of Starter Studio connections. And so it's a great resource for anyone out there who wants to start a company and do that like we did. And you can start from an individual, and we met, my co-founder and I met at Starter Studio, and so there's just so many things that have come out of it. And I've started to mentor companies as well out of there, and it's just really great, and we need to see more of that. But we also do have our offices in another co-working space in the Oviedo Mall, so I want to shout out to them as well. NeoWare Studios, that's where our actual headquarters are. And so we I flow back and forth for meetings, but yep.
Cool. So how is this company funded? Did you self-fund it, or how did that all get going?
So we're completely bootstrapped up until we launched in August, and then we did receive some funding from some angel investors, and we are still very, very lean. Right. We have a low burn rate. We are able to use resources like CareerSource, for instance, to kind of recruit a lot of talent, and that program helped us to grow, as well as the National Science Foundation I-Corps program was able to give us a grant in the early days. And so we've started to generate revenues as well. So we're able to use those revenues and put them back into the business. But we're self-funded, and a lot of friends and family support in the early days. But it's at the point now where we're doing due diligence with some of the local angel funds or groups that are more institutional, and it looks like that'll be our next phase is to go into some more serious funding. Funding rounds.
Yeah, that was my next question. I was just going to ask if there are any other options you're looking at for raising capital.
Yeah, so we have pretty much been in conversation with most of the groups here in Orlando and then abroad. So we were at TechCrunch in October, and we met a lot of VCs out in Silicon Valley, and so they've kind of told us that they're going to keep their pulse on us and keep track of what we're doing, as well as a lot of the local angels have mentioned that they'd prefer to follow on to a lead investor, and so we see that there would be a lot of follow-on investment if we were to land the lead, and so all of that will go into building on that foundation that we've built over the last year, which is the product, right? And now that we have the product and the product's functional and it works, we're focused on, of course, improving the product, but sales and marketing. So this is the sales and marketing piece that we're really going after in 2020, and so it's all going to be about that type of growth.
Yeah. So BRITE is a crowd investing platform itself, and we connect small investors with startups like yours. Have you ever thought of doing crowdfunding at all? Or?
Absolutely. I love the idea of crowdfunding. I think it's a great opportunity for any type of investor, whether institutional or someone that doesn't want to invest that much and wants to be a part of it, to go ahead and jump in. And then there's so many different ways that you can structure those types of financing rounds. So whether that be equity based or debt vehicle based, and so I love the idea, and I think it's a great way to use your community as well to gain investment. It is very hard and time consuming to speak with some of these other groups who may or may not be available, right, or make themselves available to you. And so if you can put yourself on a platform and people can find you through the power of social media and other avenues, then I think it makes it a lot easier for entrepreneurs to raise the money they need. And so, we love the idea of crowdfunding. We're trying to figure out the best method for us, with one of the caveats being that the stigma around crowdfunding as it's growing is that it's a lot of investors on the cap table, and that it can be impeding in the future. But I don't necessarily have that sentiment, but I know that that's something that I've heard in the past. So we're trying to navigate those waters.
Have you done any crowdfunding yet, or is that still something you're looking at?
In a previous life, I've been a part of a couple campaigns, but nothing with ViewStub to this point. So we've struggled putting together all of the materials to upload into a campaign, because at this stage of our company, everything's moving so fast that as soon as we get a solid financial set of projections and things, they change within a month. And so as we start to grow as a company and become more sophisticated and mature, I think it'll be a lot easier for us to do that.
So there's also competitions in Orlando, like the venture plan competition. Is that something you're looking at? That's where you can get about $50,000, and then Venvelo is a private-based firm that invests in companies that win that competition too. So have you looked into the competition aspect of things?
Yes, absolutely. And I know last year we applied to a few competitions, and this year we're going to do the same. And this is our time, right? If we're going to be able to enter these competitions and be a part of them, it's in this early stage, right? This year we'll also be participating in as many competitions as possible. So whether that be like a Pitch Madness at Synapse, or the Rollins Venture Pitch, or if Rise of the Rest comes back to Orlando, maybe see if we can be a part of that as well.
You're going to be doing all the pitches for that?
Yeah, unfortunately, that goes to me.
That's exciting, nerve-wracking stuff right there.
It is, and I love doing it, honestly, but it is nerve-wracking. And so leading up to the event, I always try to forget about it, right? Because if you think about it too much, then you get nervous. So
whenever you have that passion about your company, that makes it a lot easier.
Definitely. Yeah, and I wish I could just go up and do like a sales pitch, off cuff. But when you try to rehearse and things like that, it becomes a little bit more complicated.
Yeah. So what are some of the challenges that you faced when you're trying to chase investors and raising capital and stuff like that?
There's really just not enough time in the day to get it all done. You're trying to build a product, which is really the main focus. You want to get everything done in that regard for your customers. And then, of course, there's the customer service side of things. You want to make sure that you have that type of communication with them. And you have to think about all the small things. But growing a team is very difficult. The people are the most important thing of a company. I mean, without those people that are working working every day on ViewStub, and our team being the team that we have with such a great culture, that stuff is hard to build, and it takes time, and you have to really focus on motivating every single person in that space. So when it comes to reaching out to investors, it's difficult because it does take time, right? I mean, you have to go into multiple meetings, and then you have to prepare all of your due diligence, which sometimes you have to spend a week or two to get one line item prepared, because maybe we need insurance, right? So now we have to go quote insurance, and we have to lock that in before we can move forward, and then it becomes a process, right? So there's multiple things that go into some of the legal side of it as well. So there's a lot of negotiation, and then contract preparation and revisions. So I would just say like the time spent, because you're trying to run your business and be in the business, and you're also working on the business. So it's the balance between those two, because I don't think you can do just one. A lot of people say, oh, CEO, you should only be fundraising, but then I wouldn't really be the CEO, right? I would be more of a broker, or something like that. So it's the balance. It's the balance of the two.
I feel like there's a lot of stuff that you have gone through that a lot of other young entrepreneurs haven't gone through. Any advice for them, like all that legal stuff, all the stuff that you don't think about that takes all that time?
Just jump in. Don't hesitate. One thing I see with a lot of entrepreneurs is they talk themselves out of it, and I think that's the biggest thing is just knowing that you're gonna fail, knowing that it's gonna be rough, knowing that there's rocky road. So just pull up your bootstraps and go. I mean, it's going to be hard. It's a long journey, and this is not meant to happen overnight. This is not something that will ever be easy. So I want to encourage any entrepreneurs out there who are thinking about it. Just make sure that you have thick skin. Make sure that you're resilient, and make sure that you're willing to take risks. Because if you take the safe route, you might have a successful company, but you're probably not going to be in a high growth stage, because anything that's hard to do is going to take a lot of effort.
Yeah. So what's the next 12 months looking like for ViewStub for you right now?
So we have about a 2-year roadmap in terms of development that we want to get to. We seem to kind of accelerate that timeline all the time. So maybe we'll get that done in the next year. But I'm sure we'll be adding to that roadmap as we go. So definitely focused on the product, focused on acquiring new customers, new partners. So right now we are speaking with a lot of different industry connections, right? So whether that be videographer networks, or whether that be other like AV companies or marketing agencies, and we want to partner with them in a referral relationship, but also in logistics capacity. So we don't want to do everything in the industry, right? So we need kind of those third parties to be able to lean on. So that's something that we want to establish. But yeah, it's really just about brand awareness and educating customers on how they can do these things and how they can incorporate what we have into their strategy seamlessly and probably more easily than what they're doing today.
Great, Spencer. Why don't you tell everyone where you can find more about ViewStub? I know you guys just got some ads running. When I Googled you guys, you came right up. So
yeah, excited about that. So definitely check us out, viewstub.com. We're on all of the social media at ViewStub. Would love to connect with you. We would love to do demos of our software. And if you have any questions, you can find me as well, Spencer at viewstub.com.
Great. Spencer, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.